Good morning, everybody. How are you? Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. Hope you guys are doing so well. I'm doing fantastic. Just beautiful day out in my part of the world. I'm not sure if you guys have been keeping up with the fires, but there's a lot of fires in California, in the mountains of California, that are unfortunately they're affecting some very beautiful communities out there. And the smoke from those fires has been coming into where I live in Las Vegas, because it's very windy in the desert, so the wind brings in a lot of weather. But yeah, it's been a little smoky the last couple days, but today looks to be a beautiful day outside, so I'm really happy. I think it's going to be a great Friday, going to be a great weekend. We have to stay positive, right? So we gotta stay positive going into the weekend and having a good weekend. So I'm feeling really good about where I'm at. So I hope that you're doing well too with your families. Um, for me, as I've shared with you in the past, my parents are a little elderly, but they're still active. They still live on their own. And they're on their tour of Europe right now. And I heard from them yesterday. They started in Portugal, and then they went to Spain, and then they were in Italy, and then they're leaving Italy. I think they're back home today. I'm going to call them later today. But my parents are also doing well, so I hope the same for you and that your families are doing well. But I can already see my chat filling up with all kinds of people, which is wonderful. So good to see everybody. Lots of Instagram participants today. I love it. Love seeing the Instagram. Instagram was my first big platform. I still remember in one weekend I got like 2,000 followers out of I went from 13 followers to 2,000 followers in like a weekend on Instagram, right? So Instagram is near and dear to my heart. So really glad to see all of you there. And I see you introducing yourself, which is fantastic. For those of you that are new, I like to start off with my global roll call. And that's where I invite you to just let us know your city, state, province, country. Just let us know where you're from. It's an easy way for you to participate. You don't have to be some amazing data scientist to participate here. Anybody can participate. We keep an inclusive chat, right? So just let us know where you're from. We invite everybody to do that before I take your questions. It's also a good practice for how you present yourself, how you carry yourself as a scientist. I'm not gonna name names, but somebody left me a comment just recently where they were talking about how somebody, a recruiter at a company, an interviewer at a company, was able to give that person feedback about saying, hey, we didn't hire you because you didn't present yourself properly. Your manners weren't quite there. Your mode of dress wasn't quite there. And I was really grateful that this follower shared that with me. That's a very honest look. So I ask everybody to introduce themselves, because it's also part of you being a scientist, how people will receive your ideas, right? So that's why I ask people to do that. And really just, again, just adds to the global community of data scientists. So once I do the global roll call, I also like to do my my opening note, because the opening note kind of sets the tone for the session. And then also, if you get, maybe it gives you a good idea of things to ask or whatnot. And then I take your questions, right? But again, I just ask you to introduce yourself, keeps the chat professional, and we'll go from there. So for today's opening note, I want to share with you what I think are 3 signs that you're going to be joining a good data science team. And I'm talking about signs that you would get from the outside, during the interview process mostly, right? What are 3 signs that you're joining a good data science team? Now, I know most of you are really excited about your jobs, and getting your first data science job, or maybe your first job ever, okay? But guess what, guys? Not every job's a good job. Not every data science team is a good data science team. So you need to make sure that you are also taking a realistic view of how they're treating you and making sure that you're choosing a good team, right? Just because they offer you the job doesn't mean that you should take it, right? Is that better, guys? What the heck? Guys, I think for some reason the mute on my mic had come on. That's terrible. Hey guys, thanks a lot for that. The mute button on my mic had become enabled for some reason. I've never used the mute button. All of a sudden, the mute button decided to turn on today. Oh, great. So am I going to have to start all over? Oh, man. Did you guys hear anything? I don't think any channel heard anything then. Oh, no. Oh, no. None of the channels heard anything. Oh, man. Leo says it happens, live show. Oh man, sorry about that, guys. I was giving a good message too. Oh. Oh, sorry guys. The stinking mute button on my microphone came, I guess when I grabbed it and I moved it over, I must have hit that button. I've never used the mute button. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about that. I'm so disappointed. All right, show canceled. This stinks. Everything sucks now. Goodbye. Oh, man. Okay, we heard till the time you said how you choose a good data science team. Oh, man. Okay, so you guys heard the intro then, right? You guys heard about the presenting yourself, you know, by introducing yourself and all that, right? Tell me you guys heard at least that intro. Or do I need to start from the very, very beginning? All right. All right, well, look, you guys have filled up my chat. So let me just go straight to the chat. Let's go to chat with questions. Oh man, I'm so disappointed. Sorry, guys. But like you guys say, it's a live show. These things are gonna happen, right? All right. All right, so let me go back. Darren, let us know where you're from, okay? Drupad, let us know where you're from. Abu Zaroon 76 is checking in from Delhi, India. Welcome. I think it's your first time here, so welcome. Glad to see you here. The Bantu Prince? The Bantu Prince? I think it's your first time. Welcome. Hey, from Brussels, Belgium. Very cool. Always wanted to make it out there. I've gotten close, but never actually made it out to Belgium. Would love to go there someday. I hear it's beautiful. I hear the food is good in Belgium too. The Ayush Dingra, let us know where you're from, okay? Casual Economist, our good friend from Minneapolis. Good morning. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for the warnings on the microphone. I should have been watching the chat a little more. I was so into the opening note that I didn't check the chat. All right. Shubham says hi from India. You can't just tell us India, you got to tell us the city. India's a massive country. Yassine, our good friend Yassine says, hello, sir. Yassine from Tangier, Morocco. Nice to see you, Yassine. Hope you're doing well. Ahmed, let us know where you're from, okay? Rex from New York City. How are you, Rex? Rex is one of my moderators that helps me out, so thanks a lot to Rex. Hope you're doing well out there in New York City, Rex. Is this Anthony? Also one of our moderators. Thank you so much. Hey Dennis, hey, how are you? I'm still working on that whole Instagram thing. You know, I'll be in contact with you on that, okay? Emergent, let us know where you're from, okay? Khalib says, Khalil, a CS major from Germany. Nice. What part of Germany? I love German cars. A CS major. Okay, cool, cool. I'm not a fan of CS programs, but that's just me. That's just my own personal bias. But hope you're doing well out there. The Ayush Dingra says, hi, I'm from India. I graduated with mathematics as majors. Have been working on my skill set to become a data scientist. Very cool. Very cool. Math is an okay background for data science, right? It's not going to hurt you. Make sure you get some statistics under you too, okay? I think that the math behind statistics is also a pretty good roadmap, or a pretty good direction to go in, okay? Leo, our good friend Leo's back. Leo, what the heck, man? You've been gone this whole week. Missing you all this week. It's been crazy due to lunchtime. I'm back. Oh, crazy due to lunch. What, you work in a cafeteria or something? You work at a kava out there in New York? Come on. What do you mean it's crazy due to lunchtime? Let us know how you're doing, Leo. All right, and then there's a bunch of messages about can't hear you. Oh man, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, Antarctic Penguin. Antarctic Penguin is a new joiner on Twitch. Welcome, nice to see you. Glad you're doing well, and glad to see you on Twitch. So many people on Twitch, and I don't even advertise on there or anything. It's crazy. I just push the stream out there and people join. It's crazy. Rex doing his hosting duties on Twitch. Thanks over there, Rex. Okay, can't hear you. Yassine says, I just saw a new AI tool that can read lips. Maybe that's a sign to try it. Nice. Yeah, maybe. I guess that's gonna start happening more and more, right? Obviously, there's a lot of text-based tools out there that are AI-based. It's only inevitable that some video-based tools are gonna start coming out, right? You know what I thought would always be cool? To do a video for sign language, for American Sign Language for people that are deaf. I don't want to do any motions because I don't know any sign language. But I bet somebody's working on that, right? That's probably a startup out there somewhere, right? Where they can take sign language people and interpret it, into text, right? Stuff like that's going to start happening. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that'd be cool. Sam Morales says pleasure from Mexico. Nice, Sam. What part of Mexico? Would love to hear that. Sam says good to see you. Good to see you too. Thanks for joining. I think it's your first time, so welcome. So the Ayud Singra says from New Delhi, precisely. Okay, cool. Welcome. We're getting more and more viewers from New Delhi. Dapo, I think it's your first time. Welcome. Ibrahim from Norwich, Connecticut? Norwich, England? There's a few Norwiches. Let us know which one, Ibrahim. Okay, Sam also shares currently work like a data analyst. Cool. It's a good place to get started. Joseph says, good morning, Dennis and everyone. Wishing everyone a happy Friday. Wishing you a happy Friday to you too, Joseph. Thanks for coming. Joseph is also one of our moderators on YouTube and on Discord, so thank you, Joseph. Yeah, so Leo, crazy due to work during lunchtime. Well, what, you make Chipotle burritos? What do you mean, Leo? Let us know how lunchtime is affecting the stream. This should be your #1 priority. What is more important than learning about data science? Okay, Antarctic Penguin. We have 2 people from Mexico today. That might be a record. We get viewers from Mexico like one at a time, but 2 people from Mexico. I think our record is Morocco, right? I think one time from Morocco we had like 6 people, right? But yeah, welcome from Mexico, Guadalajara City. Nice. I've never made it out there, but Mexico's a beautiful country. Mexico's got good food. Michael, our good friend from... Oh, Michael. Was it Benin City? Did I get that right, Michael? Remind me where you're from, Michael. I know you're a great supporter, but I want to say Benin, but let me know. Sam says, Dennis, all your videos are in your channel, right? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All my videos, like my long form videos, all my shorts, and all the live streams that I do are all posted on YouTube, and I keep them up there forever. So, you can check out the different sections. YouTube breaks it out between videos and streams. You can check it out there. You can also check out the classes that I do. Sometimes I'll make the playlist from the classes because, I think that's really good content. I have 20 hours of instruction on this book right here. There's 20 hours, guys. I mean, congratulations to all of you who came to these classes. We did 20 hours of instruction on this book. Just insanity, guys. So yeah. So everything is up there. And if you guys want to see some embarrassing stuff, go to my live streams and go to some of my very, very early streams. I'm talking like early May. And you will see me streaming with 0 people showing up. So I am so grateful for all of you, really happy for the support, grateful for the growth I've had since then. But I was streaming when I had 0 people coming in. And, and my streaming setup wasn't as great and all that. But if you want to see something embarrassing, go check that out on YouTube. Go check out some of my early streams. I would only stream for like 10 minutes because there was literally nobody there. So I was just like talking to myself. So if you guys want to see some embarrassing stuff, go to my YouTube, Data Science with Dennis. Subscribe, click on notify. It'll tell you when I'm live. But yeah, really grateful for all of you guys because I sat here with 0 people for the longest time. All right, so Dapo says, hey Sam, let's slow down on the spam, please, okay? When you spam my chat, it screws up my software on my end where I can see everybody else's chat. Where was I? All right, so Dapo says, from England, recently finished my master's in AI and data science. Very cool, very cool. So what's next for you, Dapo? Are you already working in the field or are you looking for your first job? Either way, if you want the real world perspective of data science, you're in the right place. That's what I try to give to people. If you'd like a book to read, please check out my book, First Year in Data Science. It's basically made with somebody like you in mind. You have the academics and now you want to go into the real world. I try to give you some thoughts on how to bridge that gap because there's some things that school did not teach you that you're going to need in data science. So that's the whole purpose of my book. It's available on Amazon. Guys, I don't sell courses or any, junky stuff like that. But if you do want to support me, my book is the best way. It's also part of my legacy because, it reflects what I've learned. But yeah, feel free to, check out my book, please. Leo says, oh boy, I'm sorry. It's okay, Leo, but come on, what's more important than learning data science? You gotta keep at it, right? Data science is a lifelong process, right? So Michael says, yes, it's Benin City, Nigeria. All right. See, I'm an old man, but I still got a couple things working up here. I got a decent memory. I'm an old guy, but I remember things. I remember a couple things. Othman, how are you? Good to see you again. Othman, I think you were from Rabat, so nice to see you again. Hope you're doing well out there in Rabat. Salunke says, hello, Dennis. Thank you for the advice the day before yesterday. Feeling motivated today. All right, that's good. It's good to feel motivated. Salunke, remind me, I think you were talking about being, I think you were software engineer or something, right? Weren't you like a software engineer and you were kind of looking for a change? Was that you? I think that was you. I mean, guys, I hear a lot from you guys. I get a lot of messages, a lot of comments. So in 2 days, I answer a lot of questions. So yeah. Let me know if I was right on that. But I think you were like you were a software engineer or something, right? Let me know. Remind me, please. Okay. Annie Love says hi everyone. Hey Annie Love, I think it's your first time, but let us know where you're from, Annie Love. Let us know, please. The Ayush Dingra will subscribe on your YouTube channel too. Yes, please do so. I think YouTube has a better notification system for live streams and for my long form videos. So it helps to both, if you follow me on Instagram, which it looks like you do, please also follow me on YouTube, because that way you can be notified in a little bit of a better way. And, and my YouTube is growing. In a couple days, I'll probably have more viewers on YouTube than I will on Instagram, which is amazing to think about, because, like I never thought I would have this many followers on YouTube. It's just crazy. Channel name, please. Data Science with Dennis. If you search for me on any platform under Data Science with Dennis, you usually come up with my name. And that also goes for Amazon. Even on Amazon, if you're looking for my book, Data Science with Dennis, in the main search bar, it'll take you to my stuff also, okay? Leo says, I agree, just been an intense week. Okay, well, I hope everything's well out there, Leo. Let us know if we can support you in any way, but I hope you're doing well out there. Ayush says, Insta to YouTube. Hey, that's the spirit. Thank you so much, Ayusha. Thanks for doing that. Or Ayush, excuse me. Thank you for doing that. Roberto Carlo. Hey, Roberto, let us know where you're from, Roberto. Hope you're doing well. I think it's your first time. Okay, yeah, Salunka says, yes, doing a master's in computer science, was feeling burnt out. Okay, cool. So I'm glad you're feeling better. Sometimes you need to step away from things and come back to them. For me, when I'm stuck on a hard problem, like whether it's coding or writing or, something else like that, I find it beneficial to just kind of step away, go do something else, walk the dogs, go shopping, just get away from it, just get your mind completely off it. And then come back, look at something with fresh eyes, that's what I call it, fresh eyes. And, you can change perspective there, right? But if I remember right, I gave you the advice about, just taking the time to reflect, right? Taking the time to think about what you want to do. So I hope that helped, and I hope that that helps you, kind of be motivated. So Salunke adds, the thing is, I left my job at Accenture after 2 years to pursue my master's, and then the job market right now is pretty bad. Plus, if you add DSA with masters, it's kind of exhausting. Sure, yeah, it can be. Obviously what you're describing is a common path, right? People finish their undergrad, go do some work, consulting or financial or whatever, and then they leave to pursue their masters, right? I get that. That's a common path. But that is part of the risk you run, right? That you're leaving a job, and then in most cases, you're incurring debt, right? Most people can't pay for a master's out of pocket, right? You're going to incur some kind of debt. For me personally, those were two things that were really challenging, and that's why I had such a long time between my undergrad and my grad studies. Because I was kind of making good money. I was a software engineer already, so I was making, consistently good money. A cheap master's is what, like $40,000 a year? Like that's a cheap one, right? $40,000 a year, at least here in the US, right? So yeah, it's kind of a risk, right? It's kind of a risk to do that. But look, if you were smart enough to work for Accenture, you're going to be just fine, right? You just need to take the time to figure out what it is you want to do, pursue that in a very meaningful way, and in a way that pursues mastery, and you'll be fine, right? So, chin up, gotta stay positive, and you'll be fine. Yeah, thanks, Leo, for encouraging people to introduce themselves. Thank you for that. Samuel says, name of the book, please. It's right up here. You can search for my name, or you can search for your first year in data science. It's available in paperback, audio, and an ebook. in an ebook. I priced it to be affordable for, the global market. I am less than 500 rupees in India, which I've been told is an accessible price point. So you should be able to access it. Okay? RTX says, sir, from which country you are? I'm a man of the world. That's me. I'm a man of the world. So I'll tell you guys something. And this is not a goal I share very often, but it's a goal that I have. And I'm kind of, I'm in the second half of my career, right? But I still have plans and goals and aspirations for my life. So I'm going to tell you guys something that I've learned. So I'm trying to pick about how I can tell you guys this, because I don't want to violate any client things. Yeah, so I'm gonna be kind of careful, because I never violate my client's trust or confidentiality. So my last role, in the big corporate world, was working in wealth management, right? Working for the 1% of the 1%, right? People who have a lot of money to invest, in their families or individuals or whatever, and it's people from all over the world, right? And obviously I learned a lot, right? From a data perspective, that's a very interesting field to be working in. But the biggest takeaway that I got from all of that was this concept of being a global citizen. The richest people in the world basically see themselves as global citizens. They live everywhere and anywhere. I mean, that's really what you're gaining from wealth, right? I mean, that's really like the meta win, right? Like, forget the nice handbags and all that junk you see on Instagram. Don't get me wrong, that's important. I like fast cars, right? But the meta view is that the real wealth is in global mobility, being a citizen of the world, right? And that's kind of what I'm pursuing. Now, I'm not wealthy, by any stretch of the imagination, but I think you can be a global citizen on a variety of different scales, right? Now, I'm also not talking about, I'm going to backpack across Thailand. I'm not talking about that nonsense either. But I think that there's different scales for being a global citizen. So my overall goal is to be globally mobile, right? I'm a smart guy. I can find ways to sustain myself. I manage my own money now, so I live in a city now, but who knows? Maybe at some point in the future, I'll live on the road, or I'll live in another country. Maybe I'll stay here to be closer to my parents. My parents are getting a little bit older in age. I have family in other parts of the United States, so who knows, right? So what country am I from? I'm everywhere and anywhere. Life is full of mystery and wonder, right? So that's one of my goals, just so I'm in Las Vegas right now, but you never know. You never know. The world and life is a funny place, right? Ayush says, I've got a real life situation. It's related to ML model. Could you please help me with that? Maybe. Feel free to post it in the chat, and Ayush, if you're not familiar with our Discord, I have linked the Discord in the chat, and feel free to post it on Discord. I'm trying to encourage that type of conversation on there. One, because I think it's good for the community. Two, it's important to get multiple perspectives. And three, hey, the answers don't always have to come from me, right? We have some really smart people in our community, in our chats. So go ahead and post it there, and you never know what kind of help you're going to get, right? Now, obviously, please don't post anything that, would violate something for your clients or confidentiality. But, post it here or post it in the Discord and see what we can do, okay? Sam says, Dennis, how can we donate to you? I really don't accept donations. That's just not really my style. I have that option on Instagram, like I qualified for that option, but I haven't turned it on. Um, yeah, don't feel like you have to do that, guys. And by the way, I also post this on Discord. But if anybody ever approaches you, impersonating me, asking you for money or to send money, that's fraud, because I would never do that. Like, that's not my style, right? Like I said, really the only way I ask for your support is to buy my book, because I'm very proud of it and it's part of my legacy. But I don't sell courses, I don't ask people for donations, so if anybody approaches you like that, impersonating me or on the Discord, that's fraud. Donations and stuff aren't really my style. I wouldn't do that. And the only official place to buy my book is on Amazon. So if somebody sends you a link that's not Amazon or something, that's also fraud. But I appreciate you asking that, but donations really aren't my style. I'd rather sell like silly T-shirts or something like that rather than take donations. But I appreciate the question. Dominic, let us know where you're from, Dominic. I can't remember if you've introduced yourself before. Analov says, my name is Gene. I come from the Ivory Coast. Oh, very cool, Gene. Welcome. We don't get too many viewers from the Ivory Coast, so welcome. It's nice to get people from Eastern Africa. I've never been there, but I'm smart enough to know that it's Eastern Africa, so welcome. Let me keep on scrolling down. Okay, I was looking for a question from you, Antelope. I thought I saw one. Okay, there it is. I'm very passionate about AI, machine learning, and deep learning. Fantastic, you're in the right place. Unfortunately, in addition to not being an English-speaking country, these new technologies are not taught here. Okay, but that's an opportunity. Like, how is that a detriment? That's an opportunity, my friend. Right? Who says LLMs have to be in English? What do they speak in the Ivory Coast? I know French is one of them, right? But I'm assuming there's some other local dialects, right? Do an LLM in a local dialect. That's an opportunity. I don't see that as a detriment at all. Like, I think, and I've said this before, but like right now, some interesting things are happening in NLP with people who are doing things with character-based languages, like most Asian languages, right? I can't remember what, somebody's going to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but if you take like the Western alphabet, right, A, B, C, D, right, that's used like in English and Spanish and other languages, I believe that's referred to as the Arabic alphabet, if I remember right. I think, right? But it's all single letters, right? Well, the entire world doesn't run on single letters, right? So, Anilov, you're describing an opportunity, not a detriment, dude. That's an opportunity for you. Why can't you be the developer of ChatGPT for the Ivory Coast? Like, that's an opportunity. So don't let the English side stop you. To me, that presents a great opportunity. All right? Michael says it's West Africa. No, it's not. It's Eastern Africa, right? Isn't the Ivory Coast on the Horn of Africa? Right? Which is Eastern Africa, yeah? When I think of West Africa, I'm thinking like Senegal, right? That's the western coast, isn't it? Right? And then the eastern coast would be like the Horn of Africa, yeah? Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I think Ivory Coast is Eastern Africa. So somebody let me know in the chat. Okay. So Ayush says, we are building an AI auditing system that analyzes event logs and trains on a large image dataset. Using machine learning, it will automate edits, cut manual work, and save time. Okay, cool. Kay Kaiser, let us know where you're from before I get your question, okay? Anilov says, I follow your channel with great interest. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm just trying to put out good content, guys. So Anilov, like I said, I think maybe, you know, kind of switch your view there. Who says LLMs or, you know, Gen AI needs to be in English? There are plenty of things you could be doing. I think you're describing an opportunity, not a detriment. Okay, so Ayush adds, how do I prepare a model which uses event logs and large data sets of images to self-learn and then cut off manual work? How do I prepare a model which uses event logs and large data sets of images to self-learn and then cut off manual work? Okay, well, if anybody in the chat wants to comment on that, go ahead. But my initial thought on that is that it's not a model, it's a process. You're describing a process, not a model. You're describing a workflow for your overall training, right? So what you would have to do is you'd have to come up with kind of like a meta monitoring system that would look at your model, and I'm presuming some sort of neural network, and look at the metrics that happens after each training cycle, right? And if you've improved on that baseline, great. And if you haven't, then throw that model away, right? And then you'd also have to be monitoring any new data you're collecting, I guess, via these logs, right? So you would have to set like a threshold, like any time that there's 1,000 new entries in the log, go ahead and kick off a new training cycle, right? Because now you have new data to work with. And then you kick off a new training cycle, rerun however many, you know, epochs or whatever you want to run. And then that should generate a new, hopefully, improved model, right? But what does improvement mean? What should those thresholds mean? How are you managing all of this? You know, that's up to you, right? You're the designer behind this. But if you're thinking about it as a model, then that's a fundamental mistake. It's not a model, it's a process. So you're going to have to write a lot of meta code to kind of keep track of everything that's happening. So what you're describing can be done, but it's not a model. Okay, so I'm being corrected here. Sincerely, Sadiq says it's West Africa. Ivory Coast is very close to Senegal. Really? Okay. So obviously, in my mind, the countries around the Horn of Africa are obviously incorrect. I have that incorrect. So thank you for that. I did not realize that Ivory Coast was close to Senegal. Okay, well, shows what I know. Here I am talking about being a global citizen, and I don't even know where the Ivory Coast is. All right, well, I'll have to correct that. Thanks for that. Kaiser says, hey, Dennis, I am from Nepal. All right, cool. Welcome, Kaiser. We have quite a few people from Nepal that watch us over time. So thank you for that. Michael says, it's 2 countries away from Senegal and 3 countries away from Nigeria on both sides on the western part of Africa. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you for that, Michael. Yeah, I'll have to recalibrate my geography algorithm for Africa, because obviously I was wrong on that. Thanks for that. Sarvesh says, hey Dennis, what are your thoughts on the OpenAI's latest OL preview model? Oh man, you know what, Sarvesh? One of the things I have to do right now is I have to find balance between the content creation stuff I do, my personal interests, and then still keeping up with all of the happenings that are out there in the data science world. Because the content creation takes up so much time right now, and the work with my clients, by the way, I can't forget that. The content creation takes up so much time right now that I have to make more time to make sure I'm keeping up. So honestly, I haven't done a good job of keeping up with the latest OpenAI tools. Like for example, I also missed the Apple event this past Monday. I mean, Apple had a fairly large event. You know, they announced the new iPhone and the AI capabilities. I haven't even kept up with that. So I need to do a better job of balancing that. So I really don't have an opinion on it. And like you guys know, if I don't have an opinion on something, I like telling you that. Like I like being honest with you guys and telling you, hey, I'm not educated enough to be able to comment on that. So the honest answer is I don't know. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other questions. So Michael says, can you explain how you approach feature selection and its impact on model accuracy? Michael, were you at our class this past Sunday when we discussed some of the PCA stuff and also some of the clustering stuff? I can't remember. But feature selection is a very broad topic, guys. And it'd be very hard to encapsulate it in a single answer, right? What I would encourage you to think about, what I have found to be helpful, is that feature selection is 10 times more valuable if you've taken the time to do your feature engineering or your data transforms ahead of time. The quality of your feature selection is directly correlated to the quality of your feature engineering and data transforms and your data wrangling and all that stuff, right? Because the biggest mistake, like I see this all the time in all kinds of environments from some pretty decent data scientists, is they say, oh, the stakeholder gave us a data set with 10 columns, therefore we're going to model on these 10 columns. That's a massive mistake. I see that being done all the time. Massive mistake. Take the time to do the feature engineering and extend that data set out there. So that's what I would tell you, Michael, that you're not, it's hard to go wrong with the feature selection, but it's easy to go wrong on the feature engineering side, right? Super easy to go wrong with that. And if you don't do that, which again, a lot of teams do, and your feature selection comes from 10 columns, then you will always just have the possibility of 10 columns, right? Or you're kind of capping yourself, right? So that's why you want to do the engineering side, the feature engineering side, to expand that cap, right? Give yourself room to work with. You never know where the answer is going to come from, right? So that's really what I would encourage you to think about, right? It's not about the feature selection, it's about the feature engineering. It's not about which features should I choose, it's which features should I choose from what number of features. And the higher that what number is, it is also directly correlated to the probability of success of finding a valid model, right? Your probability shoots up the more of a wider data set you start to begin with. So I say this and I'm passionate about it because I see teams making this mistake all the time, and it's not good. If you don't do feature engineering, then I think it's really hard to claim that you're doing data science. Okay, so I hope that helps, Michael. Leo says, join Discord. We can discuss more about your project over there also. Yeah, Leo, great suggestion. So guys, if you don't know what Leo's talking about, the Discord link is pinned in all of your chats. Join us there. We're approaching 300 members. We're trying to encourage more discussion. Leo is actually also heading up one of the channels there where you can talk about data science competitions. If you're interested in doing Kaggle competitions and you want feedback, you want to team up with somebody, whatever, Discord is a place to do it. I'm also posting interview questions, things for all of you to think about. So, please join us there. It's going to be, it's a good resource. Okay. Omar is saying no sound. No, I think I got my sound okay. Let me know if that's not the case, guys. Let me see. Hey Dennis, what do you think the future of AI being used in developing and developed countries? Or sorry, I meant to say data science instead of AI. I think it's going to affect every country, right? No, whether you're a developing country or a first world country or whatever, right? It's gonna affect every country. Now, the beauty of data science, one of the things that I'm fascinated about in data science is how egalitarian all the tools are, right? Like literally anyone on the planet right now, anyone on the planet with an internet connection can go out there and they can download Visual Studio Code, they can download Python, and they can download a couple of, data science or data and data science oriented libraries. Like there's literally nothing stopping you from doing that, right? Like the tools are out there and freely available. And by and large, you're using the same tools that everybody else is using, right? Like by and large, you're using the same version of Pandas that Google uses, the same version of Keras that Google uses, right? Like the tools are basically an even playing field, like globally. Like I'm fascinated by that, right? Like I think that's so cool, right? So like accessible to anybody on the planet, right? So really it's about you. It's about you and your creativity and your skills, your willingness to apply those skills, right? Again, I equate data science to being like a lawyer or a doctor. Not every doctor is a good doctor. A doctor is only good as much as they apply themselves, right? As much as they develop their craft, they develop their skills. So I encourage all of you to do the same. Because, you got to get out there, you got to do it. Like I've said before, data science is an applied science. You got to do it, right? So I think, I'm completely optimistic overall on the future of data science. Right? For anybody on the planet. But it's about you. It's about you applying yourself, you using your skills, your talents. It's how you see the world, right? And really, that's why I like the Discord so much, because sharing your perspective and understanding other people's perspective is so critical to all of science, right? Not just data science, but to all of science. That's so critical to do that. That's why you're supposed to publish your work, right? You're supposed to make your work public. Your results are supposed to be repeatable. We're supposed to go through peer review, right? But it's up to you. It's up to you to take those steps. But I'm optimistic for any country, right? Because the tools are out there. The tools are out there. My channel is out there. So if you want to learn, you can come here. So yeah, I'm optimistic for any country as far as the future of data science. Rita OMS says they're from Morocco, Casablanca. Nice. I've spent plenty of time in Casablanca. I stay at the Corniche out there. Beautiful part of Morocco. Annie Love says, if you had to give a roadmap for beginners to AI engineer, what would it be? Annie Love, check the Discord. The Discord link is in the chat. But I have a link in my Discord to a beginner's guide that I recorded, okay? Silly Caddy, our good friend Silly Caddy is back on Twitch. How are you? Good to see you. Okay, so Yassine says, hello, sir. Are there any plans for Sunday sessions? Okay. So, Yassine is referring to this book. We just finished doing 8 sessions every single Sunday going over this book. I know I have a lot of new viewers, so this might be the first time you're ever seeing this book. This book, super important to your career. This is where professional data science begins. Forget everything else. Forget all those other knucklehead influencers out there. They probably couldn't even spell this book. This book is what you need for professional data science. And we just finished 8 classes. So yeah, what's next? So Yassine, here's my thoughts. What I'm gonna do, and this is a great question because I was gonna say this. Um, I'm gonna start doing like one-off Sunday instructionals. Just different things that I find interesting that are still gonna be instructionals. So here's a preview for this Sunday. This Sunday, I'm going to present something about GPU versus CPU. But we're not going to take a straight line. I have a Mac Mini that's an M1, and I know that you can access the GPU on it. Excuse me. I haven't done enough research to start doing that. So I'm sitting here working on CPU when I know I could be doing it on GPU. So I'm going to do it live. We're going to go to ChatGPT and we're going to see if ChatGPT can get me working on my M1 GPU in Python doing data science. Is it possible? I've been told it's possible. I've never tried it, and I'm not going to try it ahead of time. I like doing these things live. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to start doing instructionals like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through setting up the access to the GPU. And then we're going to do side-by-side code. We're going to two equal pieces of code. We're going to run it on CPU, and then we're going to run it on GPU. And we're going to get some metrics on what that looks like, right? So that's a preview for Sunday session. And you know what? That's all I've planned out. And that's the way I like it, because I like keeping things spontaneous. I like, seeing what happens. When we went through the classes, ChatGPT made mistakes, but that's okay. We had to get through it, right? So yeah, we're just going to go for it. We're going to go for it. And that's the plan for Sunday. So I think it's going to be an interesting session. It's going to be a unique session. I know that there's people out there with the Apple M chips, so maybe it'll be beneficial to them too. But that's what I have planned for Sunday. And that's all I'm going to plan. Because again, I don't like knowing ahead of time. I like to keep it fun and keep it live. But yeah, that's the plan, Yassine. So look forward to seeing all of you guys there. Please check my YouTube, click on notify, and that way you'll get a notice on when I'm live. And then, other Sundays, we'll go ahead and do other instructionals. What they are, I don't know. I don't like thinking of these two things ahead of time. That's what keeps it fun for me, right? I like being spontaneous, so we'll see what the other Sundays bring. But this Sunday, if you're interested about GPU to CPU comparisons, come on by. We'll get some baseline metrics, and maybe GPU will be better, maybe it won't. Maybe that it will have a very, very short session if it turns out that I can't access the GPU. If that becomes impossible, then it's going to be a very, very short session on Sunday. So we'll see. But Yassine, thanks for the question. That's a great question to finish up on. Please join the Discord, and ask your other questions there, because the answers can always come from the community, right? But really appreciate all of you. Really happy that we're all going into the weekend. So please take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you next time.